Okay everybody, how's it going? I'm coming to you from a very crowded Rockefeller Preserve right now, Swan Lake, Pleasantville, New York. I figure it's time for my next clip show. These are gonna be my top 10 my personal favorites. But I figure why don't I just, it's a beautiful day, why don't I just fish while I do this? So not really expecting to catch anything, although it's such a beautiful day. So who knows, fingers crossed. But yeah, so let's put the chesty on, start fishing, and start the countdown. All right, so I've got the Chili Craw Strike King spinnerbait on from the last time I was out. Probably won't keep it on long, but anyway, that's not why we're here. Okay, so there's actually a video from here that I really considered to make the top 10. It just lost out to another one, mostly because not much happens in it. So although I have some sentimental attachment to it, and you know, quite a few of these videos have sentimental attachment, but I catch one fish. The video's called November Grind and Will It Pay Off? And it's from here, and it was a much more miserable November day. Freezing cold, windy. I even got some snow on the video, like little flurries. But I grinded it out and finally caught a fish, actually right here at the end of that video. So just one of those videos. I do like doing that sometimes, where it's like, you know, persistence pays off. But that's gonna get the honorable mention spot, and the actual top 10 will start now. All right, so number 10 is called 2 PBs, 1 day, my triumphant return to the Harlem Meer. I put this on the list for a few reasons. First of all, I'd like to honor the Harlem Meer for getting me back into fishing like 4 years ago when I still lived over there. And that was my spot. I would go there all the time, especially that first summer that I got back into fishing. It's kind of where I rekindled my love for the sport. But in this video, you know, I never really had great outings there, on film or not, but in this video I caught, I think, 4 fish, and they were all pretty decent, like over 2 pounds. And then the final 2 fish were actual PBs for me. The first one was a PB by like 0.1% or maybe even 100th, but the next one was my first ever 4-pounder. Unfortunately, my batteries had run out by that time, so I only got a photograph of that fish. But yeah, I caught it on a jig, and it was a fun outing and very, very significant for me. First 4-pounder. Okay, so coming in at number 9. Number 9 is actually, strangely enough, another November video. You know, November isn't the best month for fishing for any of us, I think, but this was towards the end of November, and I actually had the rare opportunity to ice fish at my parents' pond. It also might have been the first time ice fishing there ever, possibly. You know, I always like an opportunity to go home to one of the ponds that I kind of grew up fishing on. If you've seen a lot of my videos before, you know that the conditions have kind of changed. It used to be a bass pond, but there's really mostly just bait fish in there now. I haven't caught a bass there in years and years and years, but it's still fun to just oh, I think that was maybe just, whoa, it might have just been lily pads, but it actually kind of did feel like fish. Okay, sorry for that little delay there, but so anyway, and not only, you know, did I get to ice fish on my parents' pond in November, in a very small window on pretty thin ice, like just on the brink kind of ice, but I caught quite a few little fish, so it was fun, and quite a few species too. I even caught a catfish through the ice. So I had a good time that day, and you know, within 24 hours it was back to being kind of warmer and unsafe to fish. So, you know, living around here, you got to take advantage of whatever opportunities you have. Okay, so number 8 on our countdown is multi-species fishing with a YouTube legend in Philly, or something along I'm not totally sure what the title is, but it's when I went fishing with Leo Shang, which was a really awesome experience. You know, not too many fish were caught, not too much, you know, nothing incredible happened, but the fact that, you know, I was meeting like pretty much my fishing mentor, my YouTube idol, made it significant enough to make the cut. You know, I'm a Patreon supporter of Leo Shang, and he has these meetups from time to time, at least in non-COVID times, and this was the first one that I took advantage of. Really great guy. I mean, very knowledgeable about fishing, a steward of the environment, but also, you know, we had a lot of good conversations that day. Other than fishing, I don't know if he still does this, but he's like a private tutor. So he's kind of a teacher like I am. So we talked a lot about that. You know, it was cool. Just we kind of got to know each other, and weren't many other people there, so plenty of FaceTime with the old EPF. All right, I've got the Guggen Squad Grass Hero on right now with a Christy Craw trailer. Be tossing that around for the next view of the countdown. So now we come to number 7, and this one's from last summer. This is Casino Fishing Gamble, Will It Pay Off? Again, might not have the title completely right there, but this was the other video in my Atlantic City series. The one from my last countdown is the one that's definitely been seen a lot more, but this one, there's just more going on. We happened to unknowingly get a casino that was right on the water. Harrah's Casino in Atlantic City. In fact, when I think about it, I've actually seen Leo Shang fish from that same spot before, I think. But yeah, I caught quite a few species, eels, one fluke, maybe sea robin, forget about that one, but a little bluefish, some little sea bass, so just a lot of different species, kind of action-packed, or as good as you're gonna get on my channel. That was a lot of fun, and I just love those things where you get into it not really knowing what to expect, and then suddenly you have like an amazing day. And a couple more videos like that have made the cut for this countdown, which you'll hear about shortly. Actually, you're gonna hear about it right now, because number 6 is the other video from my Rhode Island series. The first one made the cut of my most viewed, and this is more of my favorite from that series. It's called R.I. Bassin, Yes I R. See what I did there? And my wife and I were camping on the same island where Newport is. I forget what it's called, but the place we were camping had a fish like on the logo of the campground, and it mentioned it was something ponds campground, and there were ponds there, but then when we got there they told us because of like an algae bloom that I wasn't allowed to fish. So but they told me about a pond down the road, so I went to this pond down the road and thinking, oh, this is probably gonna be garbage, and I noticed signs for like trout, that it was a trout stocked pond, and I was hoping to fish for bass, so I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. And I turned it, I mean, I caught like 4 fish, but they are all very decent. And it was just fun. And I also only had like 2.5 hours to fish. So I felt like I kind of just stumbled into that and ended up having a great time. I think I caught fish on a chatterbait and like a weightless Texas rig. Actually, the biggest fish was actually on topwater. Might have been my PB at the time. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was, I think, my first summer doing this, maybe the second. But I'd love to go back there sometime. That was a cool pond. If I remember what it was called, I'll let you know. All right, number 5. Talk about just blind luck, chancing into something. That is the one that's called Mount FISHmore, Catch and Cook, Far, Far Away from Home. And if the title doesn't give you that clue, it's a video I made during a very short stop in South Dakota. I was there not to fish, but for a wedding, and I was there for 2 nights, so for about like 48 hours, probably even less than that. And the second night, oop, thought I had a hit there. I think it was just some lily pads. The second night I was staying with my friends in like a kind of cabin thing, but I needed to find somewhere to stay the first night when I came in from the airport. So I probably just went on like Expedia or something and chose like the cheapest option that was in this little town. And then, so lo and behold, I wake up the next morning, I open my motel door, and right against the property of this place is a stream, and I later find out it's like it's a trout stream, probably stocked, and then maybe, you know, very easily walkable distance, like only like, you know, 200 feet from the stream, is this big lake that is also, I think, stocked with trout. So I had a very short amount of time to fish because I had to do like wedding stuff, but it was productive, and I caught some rainbow trout. I think I caught a brook trout or two. I caught a sunfish of some kind, a perch up in the lake part. So it's just really like, it was kind of just really good luck that I happened to book that motel. The motel sold bait and also had like a filleting station, and the guy was very, very nice to me, and you know, let me clean my fish, and, you know, gave me some tips and pointers, and so that was just really, really cool. Moving right along, number four was new PB, I'm hooked. As the title suggests, that is the video that contains my current PB largemouth bass. It's a little bit over 4.5 pounds, I believe. But a lot more happened in that video than catching my PB. My whopper plopper that had actually caught that bass got stuck in my book bag, and I was trying to pry it out of the book bag and not being very careful, and soon I ended up with a treble hook in my finger, and it's a bit of a panic for a little bit, but I actually was able to kind of rip it out with pliers. Eventually, a day later, I did go to a doctor. I got a tetanus shot, and everything was fine. But I even debated, you know, after I took it out of my finger, if I should keep fishing. I wasn't going to, and then I finally just said, you know what, screw it. And I kept fishing. I caught a few more fish, and then there's a weird finale where I actually catch a catfish on, I believe, a drop shot at the end. So just some unexpected stuff happened, and you know, that's what made it memorable. It might be that the hook part might be a little gruesome for some to watch, although I tried to be relatively not too graphic with the editing, with the footage, but you know, I understand why not too many people watched it. Okay guys, new spot, got the jig on, got some lily pads here. I don't know, let's keep the countdown going if I can even get a cast off. Nope. This is where bait casters suck. So number 3 is called Return of the Red Guy. It's an ice fishing video. I've made no secret that I love ice fishing, so this countdown is a little more ice fishing heavy than, you know, the percentage of times that I go ice fishing compared to, you know, regular fishing. But anyway, there's an obvious Star Wars reference in the title, as several other videos from that period had. And you know, there's a lot of action in this video, mostly small fish, but I catch a pretty big bass, even a rainbow trout, which was a big surprise. I love surprises. And then like the really personal significance of that video was that it was kind of my official return from my foot injury, an injury that at certain points I thought that it was you know, might be kind of a long-lasting issue. Before we knew that it was just a bone bruise, I thought it might be a tendon or a ligament, in which case I would have had to have surgery possibly. And so, you know, that was the first time that's like, okay, I can fish again and all is right with the world. And it was a great outing. Got to share that trout with my family, who was all in for Christmas. So pretty cool. Okay, number 2. We're in the home stretch here. Number 2. It's a video actually from this past spring, and it is called Panfish Party. It's another one of those ones. Actually, what am I talking about? It's one of the very few where I have a plan that actually comes together, and I actually kind of accomplish what I set out to do. My idea was to fish from my kayak using small like ice fishing jigs, and at some points actual ice fishing rods, to catch panfish in the hopes of bringing them home to eat. And not only did I catch a lot of panfish, but they were mostly very sizable panfish, and the added bonus of catching a bunch of bass kind of as bycatches. Was anything else? Oh yeah, then and rock bass, in addition to, you know, pumpkin seeds and bluegills. So my plan kind of, for once, really came together. Ended up catching a lot of fish, and actually, I mean, I would never keep the bass, but actually I ended up letting some of the bluegills and pumpkin seed go because they were just so abundant. I guess that one's so high just because, you know, I'm not used to getting that lucky. I mean, sometimes I have good outings, sometimes I catch big fish or different species, but you know, to have a multi-species day, all sizable fish that I can take home and eat, and also it's not like some kind of a fluke, it's not some kind of, you know, dumb luck. It was a plan, and I did it. Oh, and I also used like these white grubs from my lawn, and they worked really well. That was cool. Okay, folks, we have arrived at number 1. It is an ice fishing video. It's from my neck of the woods. It's called Rumpus at Wampus. This was a day, it was a Sunday, a couple years ago, and I had actually been to Wampus Pond on that Saturday, and I like forgot my memory card or something, so I basically couldn't film anything. I ended up catching like a jumbo perch and maybe a few small panfish, but you know, couldn't share it with anybody. So it was like I had a dilemma: do I go back the next day, or do I just cut my losses and you know cry?
Are you catching anything?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Haven't been here too long.
Okay.
Thank you. So I went out there on Sunday, you know, not expecting anything amazing, but just hoping to have a decent day out there. Ended up being a great day. I'm not accustomed to catching too many largemouth bass through the ice, and on this occasion, man, they just kept coming up, and decent ones too. And it wasn't just me. It must have been something about the weather, or I don't know, but everybody else that was there was catching, and they were also catching like really decent fish. I saw one guy, and he's on the video, caught like a 4-pounder. Same dude, I think, had a pickerel, nice pickerel. A little girl caught a really nice bass. It was just a good day for everybody, not just me. And you know, I think I even say in the video, there's that I think it's a Wayne Gretzky quote, like, or no, probably Michael Jordan, that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And so if I had just kind of sat on my couch all day, of course I wouldn't have that great memory, and also wouldn't have ended up making a decent video out of it, and a video that is pretty much my favorite. So that's my number 1, but I have to say, I really did agonize about where to place these videos. You know, it's partially about how entertaining I think they would be for you, but it's also about kind of how I remember that experience. And with some of them, it's like there's some added kind of personal meaning to the whole thing. But you know, compared to the list that I shared before of my 10 most viewed, I would take most of these over most of those any day of the week, as far as, you know, viewing pleasure. So I don't know if you agree, if you disagree, if you have any videos that you think should have made the list, that would be cool, or videos that I included that you don't think belong there. Let me know in the comments. So now, guys, now that the countdown's done, I'm just gonna fish, and I'm kind of sick of talking, so I'm just gonna keep fishing, keep filming, not expecting anything to happen, but if it does, hopefully I'll capture it for you. Other than that, see you back near the car. That's a fish. That's a fish. That's a fish. All right, there we go. Look at that, little guy on the Guggen jig, on the grass jig. Grass hero. Not bad. Okay, good, still filming. Little guy. Not bad. Better lighting. All right. Let's let him go. Look at that. We actually caught a fish today. It's a rare jig fish for me. Okay folks, that's probably going to do it from here, but I hope you can appreciate the fact that I actually caught a fish today. I think it's been since September, so however small the fish is, it still feels really nice to catch something. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the top 10. You know, as I've been saying, it's November, it's getting to be colder. For me, that usually means when I do go out, I don't really catch much, so we might just be waiting for ice at this point, and keep your fingers crossed for that as well, with how it was last year and barely getting any chances around this region. But you know, I'll fish when I can, and I'll be back as soon as I have something to show you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, fish like there's no tomorrow. Peace.